This episode of Falmouth in Focus is brought to you by the following corporate underwriter.
John's Liquors, 729 Main Street, Falmouth, 508-548-2287.
On this episode of Falmouth in Focus, we stop by the Cape Cod Baseball League All-Star Game in Falmouth for the first time in over 20 years. Get a preview of a couple upcoming performances in the town and look at some major new green initiatives. All this and much more right now. Hello and welcome to Falmouth in Focus, our bi-monthly roundup of local events and FCTV member engagement with the community. I'm Michael Kasparian.
And I'm Eileen Preston. First up, Jed Cornock, our town planner, takes time to discuss the latest plans afoot in parking and wayfinding downtown. And he's looking for your input. Here's Jed to give us more details about the study.
Hi, I'm Jed Cornock, the town planner, and I'm here to talk about a very important study that the planning department is underway with. It is our downtown parking management and wayfinding signage project. So it's a two-part study. The first is all dealing with parking in our downtown, and the second part is wayfinding. But the parking study is very important because we're building upon the Transportation Management Committee's 2021 report, where they outlined issues with the downtown and accessing and parking within it. So we, the planning department, applied for a grant from the One Stop for Growth program, received $25,000 and have hired an outside consultant, Stantec Engineering. They've been helping identify some issues with our downtown parking, as well as looking at utilization. That's an important component, because a lot of folks have told us that there's plenty of parking in the downtown, where others have indicated that they can never find a spot. So collecting the data, analyzing the data, and then bringing forward the results of all of that information is really important. And the planning department is planning on doing that at the end of August, early September. Right now, we are currently collecting that data. So what we're doing is we're collecting parked cars in the weekday period as well as the weekends in every month from May all the way through August. So the second part of the project is our wayfinding signage program, and that was also articulated in the 2021 Transportation Management Committee report as a deficiency in the downtown. So if you may be walking around the downtown and you realize that there aren't a lot of directional signs for pedestrians and bicyclists, indicating where the nearest ice cream shop is, what other sort of commercial activities are available downtown, where the library is, etc. That's because we don't have them. And importantly, the Transportation Management Committee identified the deficiency with the connection to the bike path. So there's a lot of visitors who come to town who are utilizing that bike path, and there's no indication that they're right near the downtown area where they can stop, take a detour, go for an ice cream, go for lunch, and then get right back to the bike path. So connecting all of those things is really, really important. All of that information is located on the project website, along with, importantly, a public survey. That can be accessed through, if you go to the homepage, which I will show everyone now. We'll go to the homepage. If you go to departments, go over to planning. Once you're here, you can access it either through current projects, which is a pull-down menu, or right here, downtown parking management and wayfinding plan. You can either click on that. Of course, we have a whole host of other initiatives going on. If you're interested in those, simply click those links and you'll bring you right to that information. But we'll just click on this downtown parking management and you'll recognize where we were just at. So we ask everyone to spend a little bit of time here. If you have any questions, you can certainly contact the planning department directly. I'll come to that contact information just by going to planning. All of our information is here on the right-hand side. This is my name, Jed Cornock. I'm the town planner, and we have a wonderful staff who's there every day just waiting to hear from you and take your comments and your feedback. So thank you very much.
You can fill out the survey on the town's website and stay up to date on the latest developments right here on FCTV's Government Channel.
Righto. Falmouth recently hosted the Cape Cod Baseball League All-Star Game, something it hasn't done in over 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And what an exciting game it was.
It is a fun day for baseball, as it always is, and the All-Star Game, Andrew, back in Falmouth for the first time in a couple of decades.
Aiden, wind's blowing out today. Should be a good day for the home run contest, I think.
I certainly hope so. Your first impressions, I think it's your first time here, right? This is such a great event. It's really built for the family and friends.
Yeah, first time to see an All-Star Game for either of us here at Gov Fuller Field. The field in pristine shape. Some of the Commodores were out there this morning, Aiden, taking care of it. They painted the stars on the field. All these guys starting to get their BP swings in, and all these guys, smiles on their faces. Plenty of scouts here. Should be a great day for baseball here on Cape Cod.
Back here at Gov Fuller Field, the All-Star Game is for the first time in over 2 decades.
How cool is this, right? They hosted it back-to-back years in 02 and 03. Haven't hosted it since then. This is quite something. Yeah, you need to open up a few extra parking lots. The town's a little busier than normal, but my goodness, it's a beautiful day. We've already got All-Stars here to work out. This is going to be so cool.
And MJ, 5,000 to 6,000 fans expected to be here at the Gov for over 50 of the best collegiate players in the country, including 6 Commodores, with a couple of them even in the West's starting lineup.
Aiden said it, a little busier. Expect a lot of fans today. It's going to be a lot of fun. Carson Bowen, Jason Jones, the 2 Commodores, getting the start tonight. You'll see Edward Hart, Parker Coyle, the 2 arms, and then Jackson Willits as well. It's going to be a really fun thing. You'll see Trent Caraway in the home run derby as well as in the All-Star Game. Really excited to see what the Commodores can do. And Trent Caraway's had 3 home runs, all of them here at Gov Fuller Field.
You'll have to see how many he can get back out of the Gov, a familiar territory for him. And for the first time in over 2 decades, Falmouth hosting the Cape League All-Star Game. Bob, on behalf of the team, just what is the excitement like here in Falmouth for this game?
Well, you know, it's been a long time coming, 20 years or 21 years, and you know, but the excitement has been built up over the last 12, 18 months actually. And you know, one of the things that allowed us to do this was over the last 2-3 years, we've done a lot of field improvements so that we can handle larger crowds and accommodate people. And with the support of the town of Falmouth, some funding, and as well as private donors. And that's positioned us to have a pretty good field now. We have new dugouts, new safety screening, new bleachers, and so that kind of put us in a position to vie for the opportunity. Yeah. And then when they were looking for volunteer teams, we put our name in, and they said, Falmouth, you guys haven't done it for a while, so I think you guys ought to do it again.
Conrad doesn't stop at second, books it to third base, and he's got himself a triple and brings home the first run of the game for the West Division. We're knotted at 1 apiece.
A play at the plate, gets away, 1 run is in. Now Jones will try to score, and he does. Tie game.
Carmichael will get sent around third. He'll go up standing. It's now a 7-4 lead for the East. Dessereau. High fly ball into right field, slipping off the glove of Rogers. Caraway comes in, Stanfield comes in. Coming in with the play, not going to be in time is White. Coming around to score is Dessereau. It's a tie ball game here at the All-Star Game. The payoff pitch is lined and down. Coming in to score is Willits. Kane Kepley and the West walk off the 2024 Cape League All-Star Game.
The Falmouth Commodore season is almost over, but we will continue to bring you updates as they fight for a playoff spot.
Yes. And we're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back with a look at an upcoming performance here in Falmouth. You're not going to want to miss it. Stay with us. Welcome back.
The College Light Opera Company has been entertaining Falmouth audiences for over 50 years. Wow.
That's incredible.
We stopped by while they were rehearsing for one of these performances to learn more.
For over 50 years, College Light Opera Company has brought summer performances to Hayfield Theatre with their extensive array of musicals and light operas. Based out of their inn off Chappaquiddick Road homes dozens of college students and grads training and performing these shows for the summer. Excitement fills the air of these halls as the company ramps up to finishing out their season with its 3 remaining shows.
One more time. 2, ready, and.
It is kind of a miracle that we do put up a show in 1 week every week. We're rehearsing one show during the day and putting up another show at night. And I think my favorite part of this process has really been figuring out how to trust yourself in the process. I feel like I never in my wildest dreams could have imagined that I could memorize a show in less than a week and then also be able to perform it the next week. But we just have such a great group of people here to rely on, whether it's the creative staff, other people in the cast, the pit, design and production. They're all so reliable and so kind, and it just makes it so much easier to be able to trust yourself in a space where everyone else is also trusting you as well.
I think my favorite thing about doing shows at the Highfield is just like the community around it. The audiences we get are people who like really love what we do, and I think it's really awesome to be able to kind of play off that kind of energy every night, and having a different sort of energy every night gives the show that we do like a lot of new life. Just really fun, and it's really rewarding.
Hands down, my favorite part about being at Clock so far is being able to watch other people's strengths shine. After all, this is a training program, and I think one of the most important things that we can learn is from watching our colleagues do their thing. Some people are dancers, some people are belters, whatever, have different strengths in training than I do. Just being able to watch them do that and do it so beautifully has been so educational, but also invigorating to me.
My personal favorite thing about Clock is getting to do so many shows in one season. It's definitely a challenge, but it allows us to do so many different genres and explore so many different shows all in one summer. So although it's a challenge, that definitely has to be my favorite thing, getting to explore so many different characters and music throughout the summer.
This season contains, I think, 54 individual performances, which is absolutely crazy when you think about it. But it's really fun because it means that as a performer, you're always in performance mode, and you really get the chance to like refine your own personal performance practice and watch what other people do to kind of maintain that stamina.
I think if you are a young performer, singer, lover of theater, this place is great.
The College Light Opera Company performs a different show each week. Their final performance of the season will be August 17th.
They're like athletes. You know, they learn all those lines. Every week they change.
It's pretty amazing.
Their play.
It's true. It is true.
The Woods Hole Film Festival is wrapping up this week, marking a fantastic celebration of films with numerous sold-out screenings. We join the festivities to speak with some of the talented filmmakers featured in this year's festival.
My name is Charlie Norton. I'm the writer, director, and producer of The Lost Weekend.
I'm Gabrielle Rawson. I'm the writer, director, producer of She Who Dared.
I'm Katie Calori. I'm the lead of She Who Dared. I also help produce.
So our film is Crooked Finger. Jason Cortland and I co-directed it. We had producers Todd Remus and Alicia Lebeda, and a wonderful crew cast of actors, including Bob Dio.
Our film is called The Daykeeper. My name is Mark Kiefer, and I am the co-writer and director of the film.
Steve Young. I'm the star of the movie as well as the co-writer and co-producer.
I'm super excited to be here for the Woods Hole Film Festival. We shot in Sandwich, Massachusetts 2 years ago, and now that we finally have a Cape Cod premiere, this is such a full circle for our cast and crew, and we're just super excited to be here. We're super blessed to be here, and seeing how far this journey's become, and Woods Hole's a festival I've been wanting to get into for a long time, and we're just super happy to be here.
Very proud moment for us to get into this film festival. I'm under the impression that it's very hard to get into. I have a lot of folks that are friends of mine in the filmmaker world here in Boston community that have told me they've been submitting for a long time. So Yeah, it was a very proud moment.
It's really a joy and a thrill to be here showing the film right here in Woods Hole, where we filmed it in front of the very enthusiastic hometown crowd.
It's great. The film is set on Cape Cod, so it's sort of a homecoming. We're very happy to have so many of the people who worked on the film here with us, you know, in a space that really inspired a big part of what we put together.
And we also feel like the festival has a very enthusiastic audience and staff and volunteer, you know, cadre. So it's like, feels like a very positive place to be.
I think the piece of advice I would give anyone thinking of getting into this or doing this or struggling with continuing to do it is to just make things rather than trying to make it perfect as an idea. To just make things, because it's the best teacher. And we learn so much through experience. And importantly, we also forge important relationships that will make it easier to make things later when we collaborate with others and help each other out. So I would just say, go make things.
Don't give up would be my biggest advice, because with it comes tremendous amount of doubt. You're going to doubt yourself probably daily. It's very important to not give up, because there's a reason why you have that little voice inside of you that wants to tell this particular story, and you just don't know what kind of person that's sitting in the audience that you're going to inspire, impact. So my advice would be don't give up.
Don't stop creating. You know, this is a business that takes a lot of trial and error, and there's going to be a lot of people who are going to tell you no, and I'm going to tell you to not listen to those people who say no, and stay true to who you are and create the stories that you want to create, because it's the thoughts that come in your head on that screen is what's going to impact people.
We got to get to a few of those shows ourselves, and if you missed the films at this year's festival, it's not too late to catch the films now streaming. Visit woodsholefilmfestival.org for more information.
AmeriCorps Cape Cod recently held a graduation to celebrate all of their members in their 25th year. We spoke with Program Manager Kat Garofoli about this year's members.
I'm Kat Garofoli, Program Manager for AmeriCorps Cape Cod. I have served in this program. I'm a Year 8 alum. And for the last 3 years, I've been helping to oversee the program in our recruiting efforts and trying to make sure that we have a wonderful group of AmeriCorps members each year serving our community. This year we're celebrating 25 years of service to Cape Cod, and we've exceeded over 1 million hours served to the Cape Cod community for environmental service as well as disaster response and preparedness. We're very fortunate today to have our Year 25 graduation, where we're honoring 18 members completing at least 1,700 hours of service apiece since September. And these members have done anything from responding to the mass dolphin stranding that happened back in June to helping make our community safer through the American Red Cross's smoke alarm initiative. We've been able to educate thousands of local students about our sole source aquifer, and our members are just out there with enthusiasm and a positive attitude no matter what conditions they're facing, whether it's raining or snowing or cold or windy. They're out there with a smile getting things done for Cape Cod. We're very fortunate today that these members have completed their term of service, and now they're part of a legacy of over 600 people that have served in AmeriCorps Cape Cod before, and many of them move on to take on several leadership roles here on the Cape as well. All of our alums end up moving forward with service in their heart, and we're just very fortunate that they had experienced that with us. If you're interested in learning more about AmeriCorps Cape Cod, you can visit capecod.gov, and under departments you can find AmeriCorps. We are currently recruiting for Year 26, so if you know somebody who's interested in environmental or disaster response service, we have those positions available until about mid-August. So thank you very much for providing me an opportunity to talk about our graduation today.
AmeriCorps Cape Cod is still seeking members for their 26th year, helping to address environmental and community needs across the Cape.
We'll be back with a look at one community coming together to protect their own ponds. Stay with us.
For 40 years, the Cape and Islands Veterans Outreach Center has been singularly dedicated to providing comprehensive, life-sustaining services for veterans and their families on Cape Cod and the islands.
My name is Carrie Dobson, and I'm the case manager at Cape and Islands Veteran Outreach Center. I triage the needs of the veteran, which in some cases is addressing food insecurity, housing instability, lack of or inadequate medical and mental health care, or other chronic acute needs. We work closely with other community agencies to make sure the veteran is connected to services that may help with their specific needs. We provide wraparound weekly case management services to all of the veterans in our transitional housing program to help them not only find their permanent housing, but maintain it.
Hi, my name is Dr. David Mishkin. I'm a neuropsychologist, and I employ best practices to help veterans, their spouses, and their families to develop skills to respond to challenges in their lives. The sessions are not limited to a given number or duration. My schedule is flexible, and I work hard to accommodate all veterans and their families, but I cannot take walk-in appointments for veterans. I utilize mindful-based therapies, including learning mindful meditation, which is a main component in what we offer. Studies have shown that cultivating a regular meditation practice offers a host of benefits, including reduced anxiety, increased sense of well-being, heightened creativity, improved immune functioning, better memory, and improved decision-making.
Welcome back.
This July, Falmouth Public Schools earned a distinguished national accolade for their exceptional dedication to environmental sustainability. The district was awarded the Green Ribbon from the U.S. Department of Education, highlighting their innovative practices in sustainability, health, and environmental education. Stay tuned as we delve into how Falmouth schools are setting a new standard for public schools throughout the Commonwealth.
Falmouth has been doing for many years that have helped with sustainability and then making things healthier for the kids and making things better for the environment. So last year we were able to implement composting throughout the district with in partnership with Black Earth. And so all of our kids were learning about the importance of reducing their waste and how important it was to compost. And also we saved a lot of carbon emissions by not putting that food waste into the landfill. So that was pretty impressive. And then, of course, we have our partnership with our Woods Hole and Greater Falmouth community partners. And they're great. They help bring the kids to the science. There's things that they can do outside the classroom, in their labs, and in where they work that we couldn't possibly replicate in a classroom. And they're really great about working with us. And so we have the kids out exploring the Coonamessett River, finding out whether or not the restoration project worked and what evidence can they demonstrate that it did work. We have Earth Day. And we have, even starting in kindergarten, we have Noah coming down and talking to our kids about sustainably fishing and how they find out how much food we have or how many fish we have and how we can fish and keep that population stable. So the kids love it. It's great. It's just a fantastic thing to do. And honestly, it helps the kids understand that we have to be sustainable in the future. And if we can teach them that, I think we're doing a pretty good thing for our future.
I think in total there were 55 awards, 10 of which across the country and the territories of the United States were focused on comprehensive district efforts. And I think one of the things that's really a place for us to stop and for us to celebrate is the comprehensive nature of what we do, because it's not just about teaching and learning in the classroom, although that's super important for us. And the work that we're doing through our partnerships to change various areas in our community into living classrooms. But it's really the comprehensive and holistic approach to sustainability and wellness. So that spans everything that we're doing with our wellness committee for our health curriculum, and then anything that we're doing in maintenance and facilities. And I think one of the best parts, sort of moving through the ceremony and getting an opportunity to be part of the full day conference was the network that we got to gain. So we have connections to help us continue to grow our work, to work with others in various districts and schools across the United States who are doing some similar work around sustainability, farming on their campuses, farm-to-table efforts, career technical education facilities, greening their energy sources, but then above and beyond that too, sometimes when you hit a challenge point or you feel like there's an obstacle that you're just not sure you can get past, you've got someone you can pick up the phone and call and say, how did you do this? What would you consider, or what's the first step in reaching out and making a connection? And we're part of a system now that helps us move forward.
It's not just the schools going green, but the community has also come together to address another environmental issue here in Falmouth.
Yeah, the health of our local ponds. Here is the first in a series of videos created by the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution about saving our ponds.
My husband, who's lived on this property right over here for like 40 years, said that at that time you could touch bottom on sand anywhere you went, and that almost doesn't exist now.
The ponds are the last remnants of undisturbed natural beauty on Cape Cod. They've never been built on, they've never been crossed by trails. They are the last little remnants that we've got, and let's keep them as pristine as possible.
It's been breaking my heart that there are days that I can't swim here because the water quality is different.
We got a really big problem. It's not just a lake here or a lake there or a little bay over here, extra seaweed. It's a big time problem. We had, I think, one of the longest spanning cyanobacteria blooms that this lake's ever had. It was 26 days.
These blue-green algal blooms, these toxic blooms, they are the canary in the coal mine for how we are treating our environment.
You see that more ponds are having it, and even the length of the bloom is also increasing.
Basically, nature as it is, it can handle the amount of nitrogen that comes across it through natural processes. But if we concentrate, often human activities, you're increasing more nitrogen coming to the pond through runoff or underground through the groundwater that eventually functions in a way that creates imbalances in the pond. And these imbalances often result in either one type of organism dominating, where you can have more phytoplankton or a macroalgal like a seaweed bloom, or you can have something like a cyanobacteria bloom that occurs when there's a lot of nutrients, nitrogen and phosphorus, warm temperatures, stagnant waters. And we've been seeing more and more each year of those, unfortunately.
So when you have high temperatures, and then we are also dumping a lot of nutrients, the waste from various sources is entering the ponds, and when you have excess nutrients, high temperature, that's a perfect scenario for having a huge bloom.
So one of the things we have to figure out is how we can have less nutrients in the pond. And one of the ways is the macrophyte plants that are around the edge, they take up the nutrients. If you take them all away, you have lots of nutrients and no plants, you're going to have more plankton.
And so helping people to understand if they want to use this beautiful body of water, they've got to think about what their behavior is doing and help to be a spokesperson with us.
When we first got here, we had a really green lawn that I kept fertilized and insecticized, and I realized that that probably isn't the best thing to do in a neighborhood like this or on the Cape. And so we stopped doing that a few years ago. You know, it struck me that back in the day, a really green lawn was a sign of you're doing a really good job. And today, you know, that's a sign that what you really want to see is somebody with a scraggly lawn that hasn't been fertilized. So
Don't fertilize. Seriously, I mean, it's the biggest thing that they can do right away to stop phosphates and nitrogen from coming into the lake.
Part of our work in our community group is to encourage people to make sure they get their septic systems pumped on a proper basis, because, you know, we know that septic systems account for a lot of the cyanobacteria growth.
It was an overwhelming realization that it's going to take work on the Sewer Commission, work on the Conservation Commission, work with the Board of Health, work with the select board and the town manager's office to understand how everything connects and works.
As a priority, I would like to see ponds selected to be treated in a long-term way, so that we have examples of, look, if you just take your time, you can improve the conditions on these ponds without, just trying to make it disappear.
So whether it's being a boater, whether it's being a kayaker or a swimmer, if we want to be able to use the water, we've got to try to engage and we've got to try to save it.
That's going to wrap up our show for the moment. I'm Michael Kasparian.
And I'm Eileen Preston. We leave you now with the sights and sounds from
the Falmouth Village Association Annual Crafts Fair on Main Street.
Until next time, see you around town.